One shocking number has every Democrat in America running for their life. Democrats dreamt of a blue wave. Liberals believed Americans' anger at Donald Trump would power them to victory in November. But one shocking number has every Democrat in America running for their life. Democrats panic over Republicans' early voting strength. The midterm election is just 2 weeks away. But early voting in key states has already begun. Democrats usually dominate early voting. However, something different is happening this year in key states across America. Republicans raced out an early vote led in states like Arizona, Iowa, Florida, Georgia, Indiana, Montana, Tennessee, and Texas. Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, and Texas all feature races with huge national importance. Arizona, Florida, Tennessee, and Texas will decide who controls the United States Senate. Georgia has a key gubernatorial election. Democrat Stacey Abrams is running one of the most race-baiting campaigns in American history. Her entire campaign message is centered on scaring black voters with racially charged attacks. The media wants her to win so they can say Donald Trump is such a failure that even deep red state Georgia elected an open socialist for governor. What the numbers show. TargetSmart provided early voting data and NBC News's Data Lab independently analyzed the numbers. NBC exclusively reports. In Arizona, where two members of the House, Democrat Kyrsten Sinema and Republican Martha McSally, are in a neck-and-neck contest to fill retiring Republican Jeff Flake's Senate seat, 44% of early voters had a Republican affiliation, compared to 33% WHO had a Democratic affiliation. 23% of early voters were not affiliated with either major party, and thus grouped as other in NBC News' partisan analysis. In Florida, where Democratic Sen. Bill Nelson is running for re-election in a tight race against Republican Gov. Rick Scott, 44% of early voters had a Republican affiliation, versus 38% WHO had a Democratic affiliation and 18% WHO were not affiliated with either party. In Indiana, where Democratic Sen. Joe Donnelly is facing a re-election challenge from Republican businessman Mike Braun, 51% of early voters had a Republican affiliation, compared with 39% WHO had a Democratic affiliation and 10% WHO were not affiliated with either party. The numbers continue to get better for Republicans. NBC also found Republicans outperforming expectations in states like Montana, where pundits thought Democrat Jon Tester was safe. NBC exclusively reports. In Montana, where Democratic Sen. Jon Tester is up for re-election in a state that President Donald Trump won by 21 points, 46% of early voters had a Republican affiliation, compared with 29% WHO had a Democratic affiliation and 25% WHO were not affiliated with either party. Finally, Georgia Republicans outpaced Democrats in early voting. NBC exclusively reports. And in Georgia, where civil rights groups have sued Georgia Secretary of State Brian Kemp, the Republican candidate for governor, saying the method his office uses to verify new voter registrations is discriminatory. 52% of early voters had a Republican affiliation, versus 43% WHO had a Democratic affiliation and 5% WHO were not affiliated with either party. Democrats' dreams of a blue wave are running into reality. There is no doubt Democrats are fired up to vote because they hate Donald Trump. But Republican voters have woken up in the last 2 weeks. And it looks like the GOP is on the cusp of scoring key victories that will grow their Senate majority. We will keep you up to date on any new developments in this ongoing story.